It is episode 104 of Gimme the Hot Sauce, and Stacey's coming off a nice win. The Bulls beat the Boston Celtics, coming from 19 down. Before we get to that, though, we want to welcome in our guy, Timmy Whispers. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see him there. He's from his new home in Fort Myers. Timmy, give the folks an update. I know a lot of people were wondering how your storm survived the hurricane.
Well, I had to kill a few gators, but they're not as tough as people think they are. You get that couple of those wrestling moves on, get them in a full Nelson, drag them right out. It's not too bad. And then besides the snakes and spiders, we were pretty good.
Hey, I just want to say, Tim, it's good to see you there, son. I didn't know what to expect, where you at. But can we lose the background and let everybody see your palatial estate?
Tim gave me a little tour earlier.
Yeah.
The house is looking good.
He noticed he didn't get a black guy tour because he's afraid I might come in there and rob him.
There's a lot of boxes, a lot of things to be
30 years of abuse, Tim.
Yeah. You got to limit the information. That
he wouldn't even give me the address. I was going to send him something, a nice housewarming gift. He's like, oh, that's okay. I'm good.
He put a ceiling fan in by himself, so I'm surprised he hasn't been electrocuted.
Did he? You did?
Yeah.
Actually, I did get electrocuted with the first fan I put in.
Hey, Tim,
I got a pretty good jolt.
Tim, before we came on the show, we saw your little Jeffrey Dahmer stick. Where's your Jeffrey Dahmer shot stick? See, this is where
and that's legal in Florida, right?
Yeah, stand your ground. Hey, who's that? I Dream of Jeannie? Who's that walking back there? Who's that?
Sure was. Quiet.
Shouldn't she be in a bottle?
Hey.
Late night entertainment at the Kelley compound.
Yes, that was the lovely Maureen Kelley,
the
boss of the house. Yes, she's the boss.
So, but on a serious note, you were telling me before we get started that it was almost like there was a protective dome around your neighborhood, which is pretty crazy because everyone's seen the video of the devastation along the coast at Fort Myers, and your neighborhood, which is a bit inland, you said is basically fine.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, all devastation all around, but this little area here, not a single roof was damaged. There's a couple of little trees down, but really nothing. No flooding here. No damage at all. Not even a screen that was torn. Just in excellent shape.
So you're gonna
put it nothing ever happened here.
You're gonna put it on the market now? Try to get a profit right away?
You could, but I need to escape those Januaries and Februaries.
Yeah, no, that'll be great. Timmy,
now, Tim, do you live more inland, away from the water, basically? How far do you live from the beaches?
It's only like 10 minutes, so not too bad. We're closer to, I'd say, just east of downtown Fort Myers, so up the river a little bit and inland, but just straight north of the beaches.
What's the weather been like? What's temperature?
80s every single day and perfectly sunny. So
we
had complaints, and
we had a close to 80 over the weekend here.
I know. I couldn't believe that. It looked actually the first day was the same weather there as it was here. We were in the 70s here. So
yeah.
But that devastation though. We took a drive around this morning. Wow.
Yeah.
It is extreme. It is really something.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to have to rebuild down there. So we're glad you're okay. Enjoy getting settled into the household. I know you're going to be there for the rest of the week, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week. But you're going to hang around. You're going to do a little Christopher Walken for us later because everybody was asking for it last week.
And also, I know you'd be disappointed if it didn't come back bright red, but I'll work on that and make sure I'm really toasty.
We definitely want you to come back as Larry the Lobster. So we're excited about seeing that coming back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that myself.
Well, let's talk.
I won't let you down.
Let's talk a little basketball, Stacey. Obviously, Bulls fans have got a little bit nervous after the home opener against Cleveland. That was one of those games that just got away early, and they shot the lights out, and the Bulls couldn't come back. But then get down by 19 against the Celtics and then run them out of the gym in the second half.
Well, I attribute that Cleveland game, Mark, to fatigue. You had an emotional game against Miami, and then you had to play Washington, which is a game they should have won, which later came back. The officials said they made a mistake on that three-point attempt by DeMar DeRozan, which would have won the game if he had shot the 3 free throws. So there was some fatigue. You could tell in that first quarter they got down. Cleveland was sitting at home waiting. They'd only played one game, so they were fresh. Whoever made this schedule should be slapped with a salmon. I mean, seriously, like it's terrible. Like the Bulls schedule is awful. We're getting ready to go on our second 3-game and 4-night type situation, and it's really. I mean, look at the schedule. I mean, it's brutal. You know, you play 2 playoff teams right out the box. Indiana, you don't know what Indiana's going to be. San Antonio's undefeated. You got Philadelphia. That's going to be a back-to-back game. We are playing Indiana tomorrow, and then we're flying the next day to San Antonio to play 1 game. This is the first time that we've ever just gone on a 1-game trip to Texas. And then you're flying back home to play Philadelphia, who'll be waiting for you, who's 0-4 at the moment.
No, they got 1 yesterday.
Did they get 1?
Yeah, they beat Indiana.
Well, good for them. Well, it's not saying much.
Indiana's going to get relegated.
Yeah, they might be that team that you get Will playing them. You know, you get all your shots fall, all your stats go up. So yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Stacey call out Bubbles the Chimp for making the schedule. You got the graphic with Bubbles the Chimp on it.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's Bubbles. Just leave me alone, girl. Just leave me alone, friend.
You know, there's an even crazier trip coming up later. You go to Brooklyn, come home the next night to play Charlotte, then go right back out to Boston. You're on the East Coast. Why don't you play Brooklyn and Boston back to back?
This is what I'm talking about, Mark. The schedule is brutal for this team. It's like it makes no sense. I mean, put that schedule back up there, guys. Let's go back and look at this.
Just, you know,
okay, look,
you're going to travel, be consistent.
You're at Brooklyn, but why are we coming back home to play Charlotte the next night? Why not just stay out there and play Boston and then Toronto and then come back and play Charlotte and Toronto at home? It's just amazing. You know, they keep saying because of the Paris trip, that's why the schedule is so condensed for us. Yeah. But I don't see the Lakers, playing this kind of schedule. I don't see some of the winning teams playing this kind of schedule. The teams that are on, ESPN and, all these things. It's terrible the way the schedule is.
Whispers, you got your TV up and running, or are you still waiting on that?
I do. That was a tough situation. The internet issues down here. I had T-Mobile, had to bring it back and had to do a little screaming at them. But that Xfinity, they pulled through. They charge you more, but it works.
So you got all your favorite channels. You be able to watch any basketball, or are you just too busy?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of basketball, and then, of course, the Bears game last night, which was fantastic.
Yeah, it looked like a different team, didn't it? We'll talk about the Bears later, but that was the Chicago double over the city of Boston.
Well, it was the Boston Tea Party, and it was a massacre as we massacred the Patriots and the Celtics all on the same night. Yeah. So it was a good night to be a Chicago sports fan.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you had a parlay on that, you did pretty well.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Whispers?
I was going to say that Stacey mentioned earlier that 3-point foul on DeRozan. That was, you wonder, they got to change that rule, especially maybe in the last 5 minutes, that you can, use a challenge for a unmade call.
Right.
They would have won that, of course.
There was nothing they could do on that. Stacey, I thought in the Cavs game there were good performances all around, but how about Vooch celebrating his 32nd birthday? 18 points, 23 rebounds. He was really effective throughout that game.
Well, I mean, the Celtics are very small outside of Al Horford. They're missing Robert Williams, so that is a big blow for them because that's a rim protector, shot blocker, and without him, you're playing, Grant Williams, you're playing all these small guys at that power forward position. Al Horford's getting up there in age. He's not the same defensive player that he once was, but again, it's like Gulliver's Travels. The land of the Lilliputians. He was just dominant. You look at those. You look at those numbers, 18 points, 23 rebounds, and then you kind of ask yourself, because I kept calling for it, it's like just pound the ball inside the Vooch. The double team came a few times, and he was able to find wide open shooters. Io was a benefactor of double team, because teams are leaving Io, but if he keeps hitting threes like he's doing right now, you're not going to be able to leave him. And he's shooting the ball with extreme confidence. Vooch played really well. I thought he got us going. I thought that second group came in with Dragic, Caruso, Drummond. I thought they came in and infused energy. Javonte Green, because if we were down 19, against the Celtics, and it looked like they were going to blow the doors off. And then all of a sudden, they went to a second group. They came in with energy. They started chipping away at that lead. From about the 7-minute mark of the first quarter, they outscored Boston like 24-9 or something to get back in the game. So it was a remarkable comeback.
How about Derrick Jones Jr.? He had all 10 of his points in the first half when they made that comeback. And here's a guy that was out of the rotation at the start of the year, but now he's playing. And we know that the thing that he can do is he can get you loose balls, he can get offensive rebounds because he can jump so high. And I thought that his energy really had a big impact on that comeback.
Well, and one of the things that he brings to the table is he brings a little bit of size and length. And he matched up against Jaylen Brown. He matched up against Tatum. You're not going to be able to stop those guys, but you can put a guy like him out there to frustrate them defensively because he can block shots. He's got good length. He moves his feet very well. It's really good that they finally started playing him, because, right now, it's all hands on deck. You got to play guys, whoever's, the loyalty goes out the window, man. It's about wins and losses. And so, you want to see guys go out there. If they're out there playing well, and that's what Phil used to do with our second group, is like, first team could be struggling, and then he'll pull them out and say, all right, second group, go out there and give us some energy. And that second group, myself, BJ, Scott Williams, Will Perdue, Cliff Livingston, Trent Tucker, Craig Hodges, we took that personal, and we realized, if we want to play, this is our opportunity to play. And if you play good, Phil will leave you out there. And it's the same scenario yesterday with that second group. They came out, they sparked the team. And one thing that was different in this game than it was against Cleveland, because you go back to that Cleveland game, Billy made a coaching decision to take 3 starters out. He took Vooch, he took DeMar, and he took Zach LaVine out in that Cleveland game, and that's where the doors got blown open. This time against Boston, he kept one of those guys in. That's what he did a lot last year. It was always DeMar. He'd take Zach out first, and then DeMar would run with that second group. But yesterday he left Zach out there, and Zach was out there with that second group, and Zach played playmaker. He played, when he had to score, he scored. But he was also setting people up, which was nice to see. And then they got a rhythm going.
And you mentioned Io earlier. He finished the game with 22 points, 9 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from three-point land. And he talked about the fact this summer he really worked on getting a quicker release on his three-point shot. He put on 10 pounds of muscle. You can see it in his upper body. He's better at being able to take contact and finish at the rim. People talk about missing Lonzo Ball, and they do miss Lonzo Ball. But if Io plays like that, he can really kind of do the similar things to what Lonzo did.
Let's be real. They're missing Lonzo Ball. He's huge. Lonzo is like having 3 guys on your roster. Now, what it does do, it gives Io a chance to establish himself as the guy that's going to come off the bench when Lonzo comes back, and he's going to run that second group. It's giving him valuable experience. He worked extremely hard this summer. He deserves to be out there. He deserves to be the starting point guard right now. But when Zoe comes out, you got to remember, you're talking about a 6'6" guy. You're talking about a guy that can rebound from the point guard position, a guy that sets everybody up, and a guy that also blocks shots. He was the second leading block shot guy last year as a point guard. So he brings so much to the table. And then also, the offense is much more efficient. They get out and run a lot more because he's able to see the floor. We don't know when he's going to come back, but they're really optimistic that he's going to come back 100% healthy. That's all that matters. And right now, Dragic has been a godsend for the Bulls. Caruso's playing well, and then Io's playing well. So the guard position is being manned by it's a 3-headed monster, and it's really led by Io.
The one concern right now, the ongoing concern, is what's going on with Patrick Williams. In the game against the Celtics, he played 15 minutes, 2 of 7 from the field for 4 points, and that continued a trend where he just seems to be struggling to find his role. Everyone keeps saying, take your shots, be aggressive, but it just doesn't seem to be clicking for him right now.
Well, you know what, Mark? I think what they need to do, I'm not the coach, and I'm not telling anybody what they should be doing, but what you should be doing is running him with that second group where he's the featured guy. Because right now, he doesn't know what his role is when all the starters are on the floor at the same time. He's almost apprehensive to shoot, not aggressive. What they got to do with Patrick, if they're going to keep him in the starting lineup, what they got to do with Patrick is they say, okay, pull him to the side. Let's watch some film. Let's watch when you're aggressive and when you're not aggressive, okay? And then that's what Phil used to do. That's what the coaches used to do to us. Because you can tell a guy to be aggressive and that they're not being aggressive, but if they don't see it, there's no visualization, then they think, oh, yeah, coach, you don't know what you're talking about. I am being aggressive. What else you want me to do? You mean go steal the ball from DeMar, or Zach? I'm being aggressive. No, you're not. You watch the film, you see you standing in the corner, not moving. That's not aggressive. You don't make any kind of definitive cuts to the basket. You're not being aggressive. And then you see a guy like, Derrick Jones Jr. cuts to the basket, gets a dunk. You see Javante cuts to the basket and gets a dunk. And what you do with Patrick Williams, and this is what I would do with him, is that I would sit him down and say, here's what you're going to do first. We're not running you any plays. But what we are going to do for you is if you get the ball, rebound the ball off the glass, you start the break, push the ball up the floor because you are best at going downhill with the basketball. Zach's got to run. DeMar's got to run. Fill lanes. This team is too athletic not to be killing teams on the fast break. And when you got a kid that's 6'9" that can handle the ball like a point guard, that is an added bonus. Now, the second thing I would do with Patrick Williams is I'd be like, okay, you're going to run screen rolls with DeMar. You're going to run screen rolls with Zach, and we're going to try to get switches every single time because he's really never in any kind of pick and roll. If you ever watch him out there in the first group, he's never in any pick and rolls unless it's with Ayo. But he's never in a pick and roll with Zach. He's never in a pick and roll with DeMar because if he is, those are mismatched both ways because if they switch – then DeMar has a mismatch, and then Patrick has a mismatch in the post. Roll into the post, post up, and let's play ball. There's simple ways to get him. It's just he has to be shown, I think.
So like Stacey said, he's not telling anybody what to do, but he just told exactly what needs to be done.
Exactly. That's just the coach. Hey, America, that's just the coach.
That's right.
You know, I mean, I coached for 6 years, so I'm just not some guy just making up some stuff over here. I do know X's and O's, and you know, so sometimes I have to, do that.
We want to bring in one of our great sponsors, Jeff Vukovich. When it comes to insurance for your auto, home, and business, make sure you contact the king of insurance, our good friend, nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. I'm sure he's been at the United Center already as the Bulls have played a couple of home games. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see his information on the screen. You can always reach him at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. He can handle and help you out for all your auto, home, and business insurance needs. And Stacey's got a great jingle as well.
Nationwide is on your side.
There you go. An early week edition of the Nationwide jingle.
Early.
Always appreciate our guy, Jeff Vukovich. Let's take a quick look around the NBA, some of the things going on that have been interesting. Portland is 4-0. The Utah Jazz are 3-1. The Spurs are 3-1. Conversely, the Lakers are 0-3. Philly's 1-3. Miami's 1-3. It's early, of course, but what stood out to you around the league in the first week?
America, this is how it is normally in the NBA. These young teams with these young legs, they're ready to play. They got more energy than veteran teams. They get out. They're doing things that veteran teams don't feel like chasing guys around, So they're going to come out there, and you're going to see teams like Portland. They have a young team with Damian Lillard. You're going to see San Antonio. They're going to come back to reality probably after the 10th game because it normally takes veteran teams like Philadelphia. Philadelphia is starting off slow out the box, but I guarantee you when it's all said and done, Philadelphia's going to be there at the end. They're going to be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, if not the NBA. So I know people are in panic mode right now in Philadelphia, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Sometimes you just got to lose a few games, get your feet underneath you, and Philadelphia will be fine. But these young teams, not taking anything away from them, they play extremely hard, and I've seen it when I was a player. Teams jump out with these young teams, and they got nothing to lose. They're playing with house money in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden they lose 1 or 2 games, and then adversity sets, and it's like, okay, we're going back to be the same Sacramento Kings. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to be back. Oh, we're Portland Trailblazers again. Oh, man. The clock struck 12.
Well, the Bulls would like to see Portland have a good season because if Portland makes the playoffs, the Bulls get their first-round draft pick.
Oh.
So
go Portland! Go!
We're hoping that Portland squeezes in there at the number 8 spot or whatever, and the Bulls get a draft pick in the teens. Otherwise, they won't have a first-rounder this year because they owe Orlando another number 1 from the Nikola Vucevic trade.
Let's go, Portland!
Hey, did you see Lauri Markkanen dunk over Rudy Gobert the other night?
Listen, America. Okay, go back and look at the tapes. Go back and watch games I called about Lauri Markkanen. I've been saying Lauri Markkanen has an opportunity to be an all-star in this league.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it didn't work out here, but the kid is highly skilled. And there's certain guys, Mark, that, you can motivate them by yelling and screaming and getting in their face, and they'll respond. There's certain guys that you have to nurture and saying, hey, you did a great job. You got to overdo it. You got to oversell your enthusiasm for, even if they only grab 2 rebounds, man, that was the best 2 rebounds that I've ever seen. Just to give them confidence, just like I used to tell Tim at the health club, hey, man, you helped us win that game, grabbing that 1 rebound. Thanks, buddy. Way to go, Whispers. But
thanks for bringing the towels.
Hey, go grab me a Gatorade, buddy. But Lauri in Cleveland, I thought they recognize how to play him. Yeah. They played a big front line. They played him at small forward. People always want to get enamored with what a player can't do. I hate that. I hate when coaches they spend so much time worrying about what a player can't do. He can't do this. He can't dribble. He can't shoot. He can't do this. Okay, how about what can he do to help me win ball games? What can he do to help me? Okay, he can shoot threes. He's a big kid that can rebound, maybe not rebound at a clip of, say, Andre Drummond, but he can get you 8 or 9 boards. Defensively, yeah, he's going to have mismatches most nights at the small forward position. But I'm telling Lowry, all I need you to do is play position defense and use your 7-foot body. I don't need you to go out there and try to get steals. I don't need you to be out there trying to, slap the floor like you're a Duke Blue Demon and out there, trying to play D. I just need you to stay in front of your man, move your feet, and make it difficult for them to score. Stay in between your man and the basket. That's all I need you to do. Okay. Now, what you see him now is things he learned in Cleveland last year. He's got so much confidence, and to play with the Finland national team where he was the man, he got to handle the ball, he got to shoot, he got to do a lot of different things. And now, Utah is saying, hey, we ain't got nothing to lose. We done gave up everybody. We're playing for Victor. What's his name?
Wembanyama.
Well, Wembanyama. Let's call him Webby. We're trying to get Webby. All right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have a chance to possibly if they keep winning, it's not gonna have a chance, but they have a chance to get a pretty high draft pick, and you pair him up with Colin Sexton, who's playing well for them right now. Lowry's playing well. They got some really good young pieces out of all those trades they made.
And you saw Cleveland firsthand. I was wondering how the fit was going to be with Mitchell and Garland. Of course, Garland was injured, but Mitchell's been a one-man wrecking crew.
Hey, listen, America. I didn't know how they were going to work it out. Darius Garland wasn't there. And I was like, hey, how's Mitchell going to play with those guys, you know? And I'm America. I saw him up close, America. Cleveland ain't no joke. Yeah. Man, they got their front line, Allen and Mobley are very, very good. The kid, the kid, Karis LeVert is the wild card for them. He's a small forward that can get his own shot. I think they're going to have to reel him in, though. They're going to have to reel him in. But at the same time, I mean, they got some talent, man.
And then Kevin Love hit 5 straight threes against the Bulls.
Man, see, I think the problem was that everybody thought, everybody on the Bulls thought it was somebody's dad. Like, hey, somebody's popped out here playing.
Who snuck on the court?
Whose dad is this? And where's the security at? Who let this man on here? And before they knew it, he already had like 5 threes. They're like, that's Kevin Love?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I heard Charles Barkley on TNT tonight earlier when they were previewing the Pelicans Mavericks game, and they were talking about the Cavs. And he said they're gonna catch somebody this year. He said, I'm not saying the Cavs are gonna win the East, but nobody wants to play them in a 7-game series.
No. If they get Darius Garland back and they continue to play, like I said, I did not know Donovan Mitchell was that small.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought he was like 6'4", you know? But he's like 6'1", but he's explosive though.
Yeah.
And when he's hitting threes and he's knocking down shots, it makes his drive even that much tougher. And plus, when he gets into the paint, Mark, he can finish over anybody. He's not a guy that's going in there throwing up dipsy-do shots. He's going there trying to dunk on your head.
Hey, look who just walked into the building, our good buddy Nicky Knuckles.
Nicky Knuckles.
Working his shift over at ESPN Radio, and he had to pound it all the way out to Palatine, which is always fun in the rain to make that drive.
Trust me, I had to drive today to do
You should have picked him up with your limo.
No, we didn't drive Windy City today, baby.
All right.
I gave Mike the night off. Mike had some of the double mint twins coming over. And he was
Whispers knows all about that joke.
So he's with the double mid twins right now and having a good time. Yeah, he's out there spending some money over at the Capitol Grill. So he's having a good time right now. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, shout out to Mike.
Boy.
Hope he's having a good time with the double mint twins.
The double mint twins, baby.
Hey, Whispers, I know you don't have the copy in front of you, but give us a little Christopher Walken talking about the great Gimme the Hot Sauce product.
Well, I do have the copy. It's just that they said it was updated, and I'm sick of coming to the studio when it's always the same old garbage. It's time to update the whole pitch. I mean, my God. So maybe we wing it this week, and I talk about doing some gator bites with some tasty hot sauce. So I don't know if you know this, Mark, but I sprinkle some of this hot sauce around my house in Barrington to keep gators away.
Yeah.
That's right, in Barrington, not Fort Myers. There's no gators there because it works. But, anyhow, if you're trying to score some of that hot sauce, you know where to go. GimmeTheHotSauce.com. That's right, GIMME hotsauce.com. And use King 21.
So what would
to get 21% off.
what flavor would you use on maybe some flounder down there? Some baked flounder.
Oh, that's easy. You got to go with the original because it just adds a little bit of garlic with a little bit of zing zang, just liven up your taste buds. And that's what everybody goes for. And then if you're going to skewer one of these, black squirrels down there, I go with the barbecue. It's delicious.
So does gator meat taste like chicken? Is that what we usually hear?
Hell no. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It tastes like spotted owl.
Hey, listen. First of all, everybody always wants to say something tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it be gator,
right.
whether it be any kind of exotic squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elk. Oh yeah, it tastes like chicken. Yeah. Yeah. No. Gator has a rattlesnake. You ever had rattlesnake?
No, I haven't had the pleasure.
Or mountain oysters? You know what mountain oysters are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Mark. You from Wisconsin. You should know what they are. Yeah, but they always try to say that all those things taste like chicken. No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Gator don't taste nothing like chicken. It has its own.
But the point here is that everything
little
tastes better with the hot sauce.
Yes,
you can improve any product.
So everything. Yeah, if you get my hot sauce, America. Okay, not only does it taste good, that it will even spice up the night afterwards. So when you go into bed with your loved one,
or the Doublemint twins,
like my man Mike Almirall is, okay, it's gonna spice up your life. Now, I just got a text from my man Mike Orr. He's the physical trainer over for the Bulls. So I gave those guys some hot sauce. You know? So he texts me right now. So shout out to Mike Orr for sending me a text. He sends me a picture of the barbecue sauce on a pork chop and says, I asked him how it was, said, you like it? He says, yeah, that was the last bottle we hadn't opened. All the hot sauces were fire and the barbecue sauce was off the charts
there you
too.
Go. Testimonials.
So that's a testimonial, and we did not pay him, okay? We didn't give him any money. We didn't give him anything, but that's what we do. So I'm telling you, people, go out there and get you some hot sauce. Go to GimmeTheHotSauce.com. That's GIMME, the THE, hotsauce.com. There it is on our nice lava board. As you can see right there, 4 delicious flavors, and we have a secret flavor coming at some point. We just can't tell you because it's a secret right now.
Yeah, we're going to bring in our special guest coming up. He's a very familiar name to Chicago television viewers. Kenny McReynolds from WCIU is going to join us, and after a quick timeout, are you guys playing the Bulls testing the hot sauce now? Is that happening now? All right, so Stacey actually took some bottles of the hot sauce down to the Advocate Center and had a few of the players try it. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can enjoy it and watch it. If you're listening to the podcast, you can hear what they had to say. So we'll be right back with Kenny McReynolds. So at 104, Gimme the Hot Sauce rolls on, and now it's our pleasure to welcome in our good friend Kenny McReynolds. You've seen him calling high school games around the Chicagoland area. Of course, he does great work over at WCIU, Channel 26. And he's a great friend of all of us in the media. And I always tell people, Stacey, he is the toughest man I know because I don't want to go deeply in this. I'm sure, Kenny, you don't want to go over all the health issues you've had. But you literally were brought back at one point. I mean, you have overcome some amazing things, and you're still going strong. You're my idol, my friend.
Yeah, well, you guys are my idol. Thank you so much for having me. Mark, I've been nominated for 10 Emmys. I've won 5. I'm in 5 Hall of Fames. But now I get some of the hot sauce, baby. So I'm very, very happy. Get the hot sauce in edition 104. You love it. But yeah, I've had some health issues. There's no secret. On October 2nd, 2017, the day I got inducted into the Chicagoland Sports Hall of Fame, I literally died. They brought me back to life. I actually woke up to the doctor saying, let's call it. Official date of death, October 2nd, 2017. Official time of death, 17/14. And I asked the doctor who died. I couldn't get my award. Andre Dawson did a wonderful job accepting for me. And I've had 44 operations total. But hey, I'm here. I have no complaints.
Yeah, we were talking before we came on, because I was asking how many games. I've seen you at almost every game, so you haven't missed any of the games this year, and it's great seeing you. Because like I said, you've gone through so much over the last few years, and for me, you've been like one of my mentors. You probably don't even know that, but you have. I've known you for a long time. I've always appreciated what you do and how you do things. And I've watched from afar, from as a player to where I'm at now. So it's really great to see you back on your feet and getting back doing the things that you love.
Well, Stacey, thanks so much for the compliment. I know when you were a player with the Bulls, you're always one of my favorite guys. You're always accessible. You're always funny. And I think people don't realize, people remember that Phil Jackson asked Michael, look, don't score 50 a game, score 35, and we'll win. But people forget, you gave up a ton to be on those 3 championships. You came out of college as one of the best scorers.
You ain't lying,
in
Kenny.
college basketball. You gave up a lot. So
Kenny,
don't realize what you gave up.
Kenny, America, are you listening to this? Hey, Kenny, I say this all the time. The sacrifice you had to make for a championship, I do it 1,000 times again because I want to win. But the greatest defensive player I've ever played against in my life, in my career, was Phil Jackson.
I believe that. Yeah, I honestly believe that. But you won the 3 championships, and I knew when you were a player that you were going to be in the media because you're always accessible. You're always around the media. You always talk, and you can just tell that some guys have it. And obviously, when you came to the Bulls, we knew that you had it. And you do such a wonderful job now with Adam Amin, and you had Neil Funk. You're doing this show with my good buddy Mark Shanowski, and I'm really happy to finally get some of that hot sauce, baby.
Well, you mentioned the word has it. Kenny, I appreciate that because you're right. I do have it. I was nominated as 10 of the most sexiest men in Montana. So I just want to throw that out there just in case you didn't get that edition. The Ladies Rotary Club voted for me, and, Mark is a hater, and Timmy Whispers is a hater. Everybody in the studio is a hater except for Maddie, because Maddie even said, yeah, I can see why you were the sexiest man. You deserve that. The rest of the guys in here, they don't want to hear it.
Well, I agree with the people in Montana. I mean, just look at the way you dress. You're one of the best dressers I know. That alone would make you a sexy man.
Yeah, I think that show on ABC, Big Sky, set in Montana, they're looking for the people who voted in that contest. they can't find them. They disappeared in the hill somewhere.
Hater in the house. Oh, Mark. Let me get the knife out, Mark. There you go. Take it back. Oh, my God.
Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the great backdrop that Kenny has. He was honored by all the teams for 1,000 episodes of his great show, Sports Edition. And he is the first guest we've ever had, Stacey, to wear a jacket and tie. Isn't
you know
what?
This just shows that this show has class.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't even have to tell him to do. He just when you see Kitty Mac, this is how he dressed every time you see him.
That's right.
You don't ever see him not dressed to the 9.
Well, the way I look at it, just because you're the poorest person in the room, you don't have to look like it. And I'm the poorest man in any room that I walk into. But it's just something I like to do. It's something like going to Catholic schools. I got used to wearing shirt and ties. Now, my tailor, he can make the suits. I can pick out the fabric. But if Rosie, and Mark's heard me talk about Rosie for years, Rosie Cadero, if Rosie doesn't pick out, the shirt and the tie and the handkerchief combo, it doesn't work. So you got to give Rosie a lot of credit too. And speaking of Rosie, Mark, you got to realize, I don't know if I even say this, that December 3rd, I'm being honored at the Chicago Elite Classic at the Credit Union One Pavilion at UIC, and for 2,500 broadcasts, high school broadcasts.
Wow.
But without Rosie, on days that I was sick, taking me to broadcast or making me get up to go, or even getting my shirt and ties and suits together, I would have never made 2,500. So I really want to give credit and a lot of props and half that award to Rosanna Cadero.
Hey, can you tell that story about you were covering a track meet and you had to go right to the hospital because you were afraid you were going to die right there?
Oh! You mean at the Big Ten Network?
Yeah.
I had a heart attack driving home. Yeah. Well, we were in Wisconsin in Madison, and we did the Big Ten championship, outdoor championship, because I did track and field for the Big Ten Network. And I was driving down I-94, and all of a sudden, my heart just started getting just tight. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm having a heart attack. So I knew I was having a heart attack. So I just drove myself. First, I went to Walgreens at Lake Meadows. I really put the foot to the pedal. So I zoomed to down 94, went to Walgreens, got an aspirin. Then I drove myself to Mercy Hospital, and the lady saw me and said, "Come on." And I had one of my several heart attacks.
And they didn't make you fill out the paperwork first? They actually let you pass on
that?
No.
No. Hey, you know what's so funny? So when I get out of the hospital, right, the day that I can go home, they come in with all this paperwork for me to fill out, for the bill.
Yeah.
I'm not paying this bill. They said, why not? I said, the lady said, come on. She didn't say I had to pay for it. So they called downstairs to this nun at Mercy Hospital, the Catholic hospital. So the nun comes upstairs. Mr. McReynolds, what's the problem? I said, well, sister, she said, come on. She didn't say I had to pay for it. And the nun laughed so hard. She said, you know what? I'm going to write it off. Forget it. Bye.
Wow.
And I went home without paying for it. But I tell you another heart attack I had.
This sounds like an episode of Sanford and Son all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you.
Coming to join Elizabeth.
Yeah, with my fat friend on my side here, my TV. Hey, so we're doing the prep bowl at Soldier Field. Me and Les Grobstein, may you rest in peace.
Yeah.
And doing my open, the Floyd manager said, Kenny, what's wrong with you? So you're sweating and you're hot. I said, okay, let me just pat myself down. Okay. And I actually had a heart attack during the open of the game. But as you know, Stacey, we pre-record the open.
Yep.
So I finished the open. They called the paramedics. So the paramedics said, hey, we have to get you to. I said, well, I'm already here, so let me finish the game. I'll go to the hospital after the game.
Wow.
And I did.
Hey, people.
That is funny.
And
people probably don't.
and I'm also. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I was going to segue. Finish your story.
And I'm also, to my knowledge, the only person to have a heart attack at the Advocate Center. But I teased Bobby.
Good God,
Porter.
Hey, you're just bragging now. Come on.
No, I'm serious. Remember the day the Bulls drafted Bobby Porter?
Yeah.
I was in there and I was Jim Rose and man, it's hot in here, man. I don't feel, man, you guys got your jackets on, man. I'm burning up. And I teased Bobby Porter and said, I got so excited that the Bulls drafted you, that you were available. I had a heart attack. So after the Bulls drafted Portis, I went and drove myself to Northwestern, and Tim Hallam, the great PR director, came to me weeks later like, you idiot, why'd you say something? I said, well, Tim, I don't want to interrupt the draft. But, I have a bad heart and bad cancer issues. But, hey, you know what? It's a lovely day. I'm here. It's a lovely day.
Wow. Speaking of the Bulls, Kenny, we have this big win in Miami, going to this season. What was your expectations coming into this season after a 46-win team last year? Where did you see this team going before the season started?
46, 48. I really did. I thought 46 to 48 if Ball was healthy. But I tell you what, they really started out very well. If Ball comes back healthy some point this season, I think they can get over 50 because they're playing so well. My buddy Ayo Dosunmu is playing well. The defense showed last night. They played well. Vooch with the rebound. And I really like to pick up a Drummond because he's going to add a little toughness. He's going to also add you some rebounds. He's going to get all the garbage off the boards. So I can see 46. If Ball can come back at some point this year, I can see them getting 50, 51, 52. But that means Ball has to come back healthy because he's their best passer. He sees the floor better than anybody else, and he's their best on-ball defender.
Kenny, I was going to ask you about your time coaching at DePaul. People have seen you on TV. Mm-hmm. They may not realize that you were in the coaching ranks. Did you coach with Ray or just with Joey when Joey took over?
No, both. Yeah, no. I did both. I was with Coach Ray.
What are your favorite memories of that time?
I think just being on the bench, being there. Coach Ray's last game at the Allstate Arena, which was then the Rosemont Horizon against Marquette. We had like 20,000 people cram in there. Then Mayor Harold Washington was there. We beat Marquette. It was crazy. The players picked Coach Ray up, carried him off the floor into the locker room. That was pretty cool just to be there for that event and just being around Ray Meyer. I tell people all the time, Mark and Stacey, I did not have a father growing up. My father was not in my life growing up until I became an adult. But I tell people I didn't have a dad, but I had a Ray Meyer.
Yeah.
Coach Ray taught us sports coat shirt and tie everywhere we went. Now guys, wear sweatsuits on the airplanes. We never were allowed to do that. We had to wear a sports coat shirt and tie. He taught us how to look a person in the eye when you shake their hand. He was just an amazing, amazing man. And my favorite memories, I think every game, I can tell you what suit I wore every game. And but more importantly, just being with Ray Meyer was just a thrill of a lifetime.
It's funny you say that, Kenny, because he recruited me in 1985, and I was very close to come. DePaul was one of my favorite schools. North Carolina and DePaul were my two favorite schools because I like Carolina because the Carolina blue, and then I liked DePaul because DePaul had the cool uniforms with the jerseys pulled out, and they had the little colors down the side. And so I saw them on WGN more than I saw most college basketball. So I was coming up here on a recruiting visit. Jim Molinari, he was one of my recruiters, and Joey Meyer was one of my recruiters. And I remember talking to Ray Meyer on the phone, man, and one thing I came away after having a conversation with him is when listening to you say that, he's the one guy I actually trusted as a coach. Like, if I definitely would have came to DePaul because of him, because the fact that, you could just tell he wasn't lying about anything. Like, these other coaches lie to get you there. You could just tell that he was just a really genuine guy. He made no promises. And I think the turning point for me, and you were here during this time, I remember coming home from school the day Ben Wilson got killed. And I was coming that weekend. I was coming that weekend for a college visit that weekend. And so as I was coming home from school, it was on World News Tonight. I remember Peter Jennings and all the big names, had picked that story up. And I remember walking through the door, and my mom said, "You might as well unpack your bags. You're not going to Chicago. They're killing kids." And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm going to DePaul this weekend. She said, "No, you're not. Chicago, they're killing kids." And then I saw Ben. And I had played against Ben in the summer, AAU, when they had him and Nick Anderson and Jamie Brandon, all these like top Kenny Battle, all these top, kids. And, I remember how great a player he was. And, when that happened, man, that sent ripples especially when you know someone and you played against him and you had conversations with the guy, that was a devastating blow to, I think, Chicago in general and to whatever school that he was going to go to. There was rumors he's going to go to DePaul. There's rumors he's going to go to, University of Illinois. And I think that set those teams back a little bit.
Well, you may not know this, Stacey, but Ben and I were best of friends. We were extremely, extremely close, and he really wanted to come to DePaul to be with me. We were extremely close. Everybody knew this. That was my guy, the best high school basketball player I've ever seen. And I saw LeBron play in high school, too. I tell people no one could do the things that Ben and Wilson could do. And boy, I tell you what, if you'd came on that recruiting trip and I would have got a hold of you, I didn't have the brown paper bag over my head, but you would have came if I'd got a hold of you.
Yeah, Kenny, it's funny you say that because when I got to the league, I had to take a pay cut.
You did.
There's a statute of limitations in NCAA. You can't get me, baby. You can't get me. NIL, baby. NIL.
NIL. Yeah. Well, we didn't have NIL or any kind of money, but we would have loved to have had you at DePaul. You were such a great high school and collegiate player, and it's a shame that we lost Ben Wilson because I tell you what, he was one of my dearest and closest friends, and he's the best high school basketball player I ever saw play. And people ask me all the time, they say, "Hey, Kenny, who was the best?" And before they get it out, I say Ben Wilson.
I agree. I agree with you because I played against him in the AAU, and he was head and shoulders better than any player that I had seen. For that size, they can handle the ball, they can post, they can shoot it. Very smooth player. Like people say, well, who is he like? And I say he's like Kevin Durant, but with a mean streak.
Magic Johnson with a jump shot.
Yes, Magic Johnson with a jump shot. I mean, he would have probably been the first point forward, in the NBA. He could have came straight out of high school and went to the NBA. And at that time, oh, Lord, Nicky Knuckles. That's why we call you Nicky Knuckles. He over there holding the phone with his knuckles. He just dropped the phone, baby. But when you go back and you look at Ben Wilson and you watch him play, like he was honestly the first high school kid that I thought could just go straight from high school to the pro level. Did you have that same kind of feeling?
Oh, no question about it. And you're talking about a guy that you only saw play his junior year. Because remember, he was murdered before senior season started.
Yep.
And he could have jumped after his junior year and went to the pros. I had him at DePaul with me one day, and he was out there shooting, playing around. He said, "How you want it, Kenny?" I said, "Give me a bank shot." Bench. I said, "Okay, give me all net. I don't want no rim, nothing but net." Swish, nothing but net. I said, I reach in my pocket. I'll give you this $50 bill if you can make the ball hit the front of the rim and fall in. Okay, shoot, boom. Give my $50. There was nothing this guy could not do with the basketball at the age of 16 or 17. He was unbelievable. And Stacey, you saw him, you played against him. Remember that release those long hands he had.
Yeah.
He had people used to walk around Chicago like this. Like I'm Ben Wilson, but Ben's hands were like this long.
Yeah, he had really big hands.
Had real big long hands and had that follow through. People used to walk around like this. Ben Wilson.
We call it the gooseneck.
He was unbelievable.
When you pose after you make a shot. But he was so smooth, man. I mean, seriously, when you played against him, and I was on a good AAU team at Oklahoma. I mean, we won some national championships. But I remember there's certain players that you play against that you go, wow, like that kid. And you don't know who they're going to be later on, but when you play them, you see that they are a little bit different than everybody else. And he was one of those guys.
No question about it. One of the best high school player, in my opinion, that I've ever seen play.
Kenny, you also did some scouting for NBA teams, and one of those was the Charlotte team with Michael Jordan as the owner. What's it like sitting in a room with Michael Jordan preparing for the draft? Do you feel a little bit intimidated trying to suggest, hey, I got this guy you might want to take?
No intimidation at all. I had a job to do. And remember, I was there before Michael took over the team with Bernie Bickerstaff after doing 7 years in Orlando. So I was very confident in what I wanted to do. Michael came in. He would come in the day of the draft. He knew what he wanted to do, but no intimidation at all. And you guys had to remember, I knew Michael and met Michael as a sophomore at North Carolina. Then he got drafted by the Bulls. So I knew him very well. So there was no time for intimidation. We had a job to do, and we did it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, but people.
It was fun, though. It was fun.
People felt like, especially early in his time there with, were they the Bobcats when he first took over?
Yep.
Yes.
They were the Bobcats.
He was getting a lot of criticism for, poor drafts and not making good free agent signings. And then he decided he was going to kick himself all the way upstairs and let his basketball people do the work.
Well, I'll just say that is a good decision that the ownership kicked himself all the way upstairs. And I'll leave it at that because what goes on in the draft room has to stay in the draft room. But hey, I had 7 great years in Orlando. I had 5 great years in Charlotte. And I had 1 good year with Golden State when I just drafted the D League for Golden State. As a matter of fact, C.J. Watson, who played with the Bulls, I'm the one that made the call to bring him up to the Warriors. That was my call. I had a lot of fun doing it, Mark. It's always fun. It's a lot of work. And I kept my job here. So I've been in the Midwest. And it's so funny because you hear so many guys lie. Like, I scouted for this team. I scouted for that team. If you see a general manager and say, hey, I want to be a scout. And he said, okay, show me what you can do. And you write one report, you don't scout for that team. You wrote a report for a guy to see what he can do. I had an NBA pass. I was in the draft room every year. I had a long schedule. That's a scout. But it's so funny to hear these guys say, I scouted for this team and that team and this team. They ran into a general manager. He said, write me a report. I can see what you do. That doesn't mean you were a scout.
Yeah. Hey, should we let Whispers ask the question?
Lot of fun, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Should we let Whispers ask the question? Tim, you still there or did an alligator get you? You got something for our guests?
I just shook one off my ankle. It's all good. So you're talking about how funny it is having these heart attacks and everything else. And I heard there was a song that you play every day to get yourself going, and that you're never going to forgive Jimmy Carter. So let's hear a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, the song I play. How do you know about all this?
Because he's a creep. He's a creeper.
Yeah, man. The song I play every day is "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers. When I wake up in the morning, I play "It's a Lovely Day," because it's a lovely day because I'm here. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations. I've had a lot of health issues, but I'm survived. I'm here. I have nothing to complain about. As Mark knows, my daughter died at the age of 7. So if you can get over your child dying, then you get over just about anything. So to me, every day I wake up, no matter how I feel, some days I can't get out of bed. It takes a lot to get out of bed. I get shots this long in my legs so I can walk. But when I wake up every day, you're absolutely right. It's a lovely day, lovely day. Now, why would I forgive Jimmy Carter? He boycotted the 1980 Olympics. I would have been on the track and field team. I think a lot of youngsters, including like a Mark Aguirre, Ronnie Lester from Chicago, on the basketball team, a lot of people, a lot of youngsters who gave their heart and souls to try to make the Olympic team, I think got screwed over politics. The athletes had nothing to do with the politics. We should have all been able to go to Russia and take part in the Olympic Games. And of course, we were invited to the White House to watch the opening ceremonies. I wasn't going. I mean, hell, I should be there. Why am I watching on TV? So, no, I would never forgive Jimmy Carter for boycotting the 1980 Olympics.
Yeah, well, that makes perfect sense. So then, what was the sage advice that Walter Payton gave you after all these trials and tribulations? Speaking of a guy who went too early.
Just, be yourself. Make the best out of it. Don't cry. Put on your big boy pants and do the best that you can. Let's be here. Be happy to be here. And let's just make the best out of every single day, every single minute. Now, I sit next to Mark Shanowski at a lot of sporting events. Mark can tell you, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I don't have any complaints about anything. My thing is, hey, I'm here. It's a happy day. It's a lovely day. So let's make the best of it. You go the hand that you're dealt. There's nothing that you can do about it. Sitting around saying, woe is me, what's it going to do? Change. Absolutely nothing. So I just make the best out of every day and have as much fun and enjoy every day that I can. Because to me, every day, I don't care if it's 50 below zero and 30 inches of snow. If I wake up, to me, it's a lovely day.
Well, geez, Stacey and I sure wish Mark would have taken some of that advice. Darn it.
Getting shots in all the way from Fort Myers. Way to go, Whispers.
There it is.
Kenny, thank you so much for joining us. You are, as I mentioned, you're the toughest guy I know. You are a testament to the human spirit and perseverance. And God, we wish you nothing but good things and good health the rest of the way. Hopefully spicy food isn't going to cause another heart attack, because we're going to send you some of Stacey's signature hot sauce. You can enjoy some of that.
Hey,
Get some hot sauce.
Hey, listen. Hey, there's a waiver that you have to sign that says that we are not responsible, that the Gimme the Hot Sauce is not responsible if you go down, okay? Because it's like Final Destination. It's like Final Destination, the movie. You've gotten away about 12 times. And now you take some of my hot sauce and you just, no, hell no. Get the waiver, Maddie. Send the waiver out to him.
Hey, Mark, and I'm going to taste that hot sauce at the United Center at the Bulls game.
There you go. There you go.
We're going to get you, hey, Kenny, we're going to get your address. We're going to send you some bottles out there, buddy. And I'll see you at the United Center.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Kenny. So much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
And you are still icon for me. You're an iconic figure in Chicago, man. So anybody talks about, when they start talking about some of the best broadcasters and some of the most influential people, your name should always be mentioned.
Well, I just do the best I can. That's all I can do, man. I don't try to get accolades or anything like that. I just do the best I can. I try to help kids out. A lot of kids sneak through the cracks, and a lot of coaches and parents call me to help them get scholarships. Usually I can call a coach and find a kid somewhere. I've gotten over 100 kids college scholarships that have fallen through the cracks. But it's the right thing to do.
Well, keep on fighting the good fight, Kenny, and doing the good work that you're doing, and we'll be watching you on WCIU and, of course, on the high school games throughout. And congratulations on the latest milestone, 2,500 high school broadcasts. Kenny McReynolds, our special guest on episode 104 of Gimme the Hot Sauce. Thanks, Kenny. Welcome back, episode 104, Gimme the Hot Sauce. Whispers, you were amazed by our guests. Every time I see Kenny, I'm always afraid to ask, how are you? Because I don't know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. He talked about how it was difficult getting over his daughter's death, but the one thing that kept going in my mind is how hard it is to get over your own death.
Oh my God, yeah. When you heard the doctor saying this patient's gone, oh my gosh.
Who's that?
that is too much.
Wait a minute, hold on. That since we're talking about this, Tim, what's the story? What's the story about your father-in-law? And they put a sheet over him. And he wasn't dead.
Oh no!
Tell this story. Tell the story, Tim. Tell the whole story.
So he's a Filipino guy, so he gets real animated and excited over this. It's like, oh, so I tell this nurse I was in a bad way because I don't want to be alone, so hold my hand. And then I wake up in this hallway, and she not hold my hand, and she was gone, and I was dead. And then they brought me back to life. I'm like, they brought you back to life, but they just said, you just asked where the nurse was. It's like, oh yeah, but I was upset because I was dead, and then she would not hold my hand, and I was very upset because I was dead. It's like, what is that? So wouldn't you be really just pleased you were alive? I don't know. That's kind of where I'd go. But he was mad at the nurse.
Wow. And he said he put the sheet. They put the sheet over the top of him.
Oh my gosh!
And then
Well,
he popped up.
Put sheet over my head.
Yeah.
No, then he goes, I couldn't breathe. Didn't they know I already had COVID? And then they put sheet over my head.
And he popped up out of the
You
sheet.
can't breathe with a sheet over your head.
They say they rolled him out in the hallway like that's where they take you when you have COVID. They put him put a sheet over him. They thought he was gone, and he just popped up. He just popped up. Tell me that story. We've been waiting to tell that story for a long time, and today was like with Kenny here because I listen. On the real though, listen to Kenny. I've known Kenny since like 1987 when he was at DePaul. Yeah. And I tell you what, man, he's always been a stand-up guy. And to listen to his story and understand where he's come from and where he's gone, and to have 40, we heard him, he had 44 surgeries. You know, surgeries. It's not like checkups. 44 surgeries on different things. You know, cancer. Wow. And you know, showing the needle that goes in his leg. I mean, you appreciate a guy that's able to withstand that and be able to still be here to talk about it.
And let's get that waiver out to him with the hot sauce, with the self-addressed stamped envelope.
Yeah. See,
I survived all that, and the hot sauce is gonna kill him.
Hey, listen, when he said, "Yeah, send me some hot sauce," I was like, "Oh, do we got the waiver? Like, I need to get the waiver out because I love Kenny Mack, but 44 times, baby, you ain't gonna sue me, no."
Oh my goodness! Hey, let's talk a little about what happened Monday night over in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Bears just ran all over the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick was looking for career win number 325, which would have passed the legendary Papa Bear George Halas. And the Bears said, "You're not doing it against us." Justin Fields had a great game. The defense came up with some turnovers, and they dominated the game. It wasn't just a win; they dominated.
The running game, they got the running game going, which opened up play action, and also they turned Justin
design runs. That was nice.
Yeah, he looked like Lamar Jackson out there, you know. So, and I've been calling for it for the last few weeks. Just let him play, man. Just let him go out there like he's on Sandlot. Just let him go out there and play, man. Let him create with his legs. If he keeps his eyes up the field, which he does, you know, sometimes he holds the ball too long, but. Now he's starting to recognize, like, okay, guys are not open. First, second, receivers not open. I gotta go. Can't take a sack. Takes off running. Huge game because New England's defense is not bad. I mean, they're not a bad football team. Now, granted, Mac Jones has been in and out the lineup, been hurt. They put that kid Zappy in, and they got a quarterback controversy right now. Is it Mac Jones or is it Zappy? Okay, I like Zappy because I like the name Zappy.
Well, Bill Belichick didn't have to worry about that all those years with Tom Brady. Now he's got a full-blown quarterback controversy on his hands. And I know, Stacey, you don't like to tell coaches what to do, but where was that game plan for the Bears? I mean, I know they had an extra few days to prepare because they had played the previous Thursday against the Commanders. But as I mentioned, they had design runs, they had misdirection, they had bootlegs. I mean, they had everything going, and that's what people have been waiting for with Justin Fields because we saw it when he played at Ohio State.
Well, Mark, America, we have certain people listen to this show. Okay, I'm not going to say which coaches listen to this show or not, but there were some Bears coaches listening to this show, and they took our advice about turning Justin Fields loose and let him go play. Put some more design runs. You know, if Daniel Jones can rush for 85 yards and he runs the 40 in 2 weeks, why can't Justin Fields get 85 yards? He got 80-something yards yesterday. Against the New England Patriots. Let him beat you with his legs, and until the point where it's like, okay, like now he's got to start reading defense. You got to get him some weapons. If you don't got no weapons, he's running for his life back there. You got an offensive line that's kind of shaky. Soon as he hikes the ball, Mark, if you try to keep him in the pocket, he's sacked. So the pocket breaks down an awful lot. He's trying to hold on to the ball to make a play downfield. And I think now he's starting to recognize, like, hey, listen, as soon as they start coming in, I start feeling pressure, I'm out of here. Because if you looked last night, give the receivers credit, even though they're not like they don't have that one game breaker. They were down the field 10, 15 yards down the field, which takes defenders with them, which opens up running lanes for this kid to see. And now you have a linebacker trying to spy him. Once he comes through that first line of defense, not too many linebackers are going to be able to run with him. Right. And he's able to use his speed and quickness to get by, and you saw that last night.
How about that one scramble where it looked like he was trapped in the pocket? They almost tripped him, and he ends up running for 30 yards. That kind of really broke the back of the Patriots. Even though it was in the first half, you could see they were just so demoralized. They're like, who is this guy? And they couldn't do anything with Justin Fields.
Well, Mark, you must have forgot I had a game last night, so I didn't really get a chance to.
Well, I'm sure you went home and broke down the tape.
Let me tell you something, Mark. You know what? You should have been watching the Bulls game. Okay,
Two screens, Stacey.
Two screens. I'm doing the game. Okay, I'm working. Okay, I'm working for a living over there. I didn't have time. I'm watching highlights. Adam had the game played on the side.
Yeah, he was giving updates. That was nice.
But he was hogging the screen.
Yeah.
He was hogging the screen. I'm trying to watch the game too, and he got the screen turned where I can't see it, and his back is shielded. I'm like, I thought, where's the team player here, bro? I'm trying to watch the game too, and the game was close for a little bit, and then I think it was 17-14 or something. Patriots came back, and then so somebody tweeted to Adam because Adam had said, "Oh, the Bears are winning! Oh, the Bears are winning!" Yeah. And so somebody tweeted on as soon as Adam opened his mouth, the Patriots came back, so you might want to be quiet. Yeah. So. It was a fun game. It was they needed to have a game like that because they've been in every game they played. They just haven't been able to score points. I mean, that Commando game. I mean, was it 12-6? Was that the score against Washington?
I'm trying to forget. It was low scoring. Yeah,
it was a low scoring game. It was a lot. I want to say it's 12-6, and that's a team they should have beat, and they probably know it. And I think the coaches realize that their game plan for that game. Washington has Stacey Dale's even brought it up. Their front seven is really, really good. Right. So that was a very difficult game for Fields.
They beat the Packers too because of that front four. They were saying the fact that they had that pressure. It was 12-7, so you had almost had that score exactly right.
And you know what? And the Packers lost, and they deserve to lose.
They're 3-4 now. Aaron Rodgers lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, the problem with them is I did not know Devontae Adams was that important.
Apparently it was,
seriously.
yeah.
Now, Green Bay's looking awful bad right now, okay? They should have paid that man. They should have paid that guy that money, paid him what he was asking for. He's one of the top receivers. He's having a nice season in Oakland, when they get him the ball, But I did not know that Aaron Rodgers was that was his guy. That was, that's what made him. Because right now, him and Tom Brady – two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks are struggling big time. Both are 3-4. Yeah. The only thing with Tom Brady, he's in a bad division. Yeah, there he is right
That's
there.
That's the classic shot. If you're watching on YouTube, you see Aaron Rodgers face down in the turf after they tried that trick play at the end. But, he's bitching about his receivers. If he hadn't taken all of the money, they'd had some money left to pay Devontae Adams.
And that's the problem, America. These quarterbacks are the highest paid players, okay? And when you take that type of money, you're going to deplete the rest of your team. They can't afford to go out and go get anybody. They got to go get the guy who's working at Mariano's and say, hey, man, you look like you played lineman back in high school, back at, Conant. Can you come and play for us? So you're getting what you deserve, basically. Tom Brady has always taken less money to get the people around him, to go out and get the star receivers, to go out there and get the stud linemen. He's always taken less money. He could have been just like Aaron Rodgers, 5-10 years ago, demanded to be the highest paid player. Yeah. But he recognized in order to win, I'm going to have to sacrifice money. And to do that. And this year, I just think Father Time has caught up to him. I don't think he looks as sharp as he normally has. Their offensive line is not the same. I think Tampa Bay needs to depend on Leonard Fournette a little bit more. He's having a nice season. Run the ball a little bit more, which set up play action. And they missed Gronk. They missed that tight end that can go down the middle of the field and, stretch out the defense and force you to double team him, which takes a guy off their receiver. Godwin is not 100% yet. So they got some holes they need to fill, Mark.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay has to play the Ravens with Lamar Jackson on Thursday night, so they may be taking another L coming up. Hey, Whispers, do you have any Angel water in your fridge down in Fort Myers?
Not yet, but it's coming.
You got your own
That's right.
perfect supply coming? Individual Chief Little Legs took care of you? He's going to send some water down to you?
He's going to put the whole system in, RO, whole house, the whole deal.
Does he check for alligators when he checks the water as well?
Oh, yeah. And I'll be able to drink out of my toilets here, too.
Oh, God. That's just disgusting.
Yeah, he doesn't like that as far as a testimonial goes.
Now, he's got a place down there. He's got a place down there, right?
Yeah, over in West Palm, straight across the alligator pits here. Yep.
Yeah, you tell Chief Little Legs that don't be caught swimming in a lake because he's really bait. He's small enough to be a gator bite. Andy, don't
Stacey didn't say that. No.
Andy, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Andy Wilson. It was not me that said it. It was Tracy, my alter ego. Whenever there's a smart ass comment, that's who you blame. Tracy. Don't blame Stacey. Blame Tracy.
Hey, but
Down to
here,
2 sponsors.
but here in the Chicago area, if you want to get the services of Angel Water, make sure that you contact them at 847-382-7800. They will test your water for free today. The company is on a mission to provide water free of the toxins and chemicals that can cause long-term damage to your health. We thank them for providing the Gimme the Hot Sauce crew with delicious ice-cold water for every one of our shows. It keeps us going, keeps us motivated, keeps us healthy, keeps us free of heart attacks and everything else.
That's terrible, Mark.
I don't know.
Hey, America, and she'll like it too. That's all I'm gonna say, and she'll like it too. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, listen, shout out to Maddie. Maddie usually brings like hot water to us so you can actually boil a tea bag in. And so today she's brought at least 2. I've been drinking water. I'm like parched because we don't have our beer here.
That's right.
The kitchen is closed. The bar is closed. Whisper took the key to the keg, so we can't get it in right now. So
I think Rich and Pablo have been drinking on the job.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah. So we're drinking Angel water right here. So and it's cold and crisp, and it's very good. All jokes aside, Chief Little Legs is not gator bait. Okay, I'm not just gonna throw that out there. He is little though. He is little. He came over my house one day and sat on the couch, and his legs didn't touch the floor. So that's why I knew he was short. Oh, Andy, it wasn't me, Andy. Oh, we lost another sponsor.
Hey, on the chat, Nick Bianchi says Angel Water going to drop GTHS faster than Adidas dropped Kanye.
Hey, Kanye, man, he got dropped from everybody.
I know.
Oh, nobody.
Talking about getting canceled. Jeez.
Yeah, he's canceled big time. He just lost Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown from his their agency.
Gosh. Everybody's jumping ship.
Oh man, it's like the Titanic, baby. Hey, no one's waiting for women and children. He's like, get my ass on the boat now. Get me off this sinking ship.
Now, looking at the chat, there's some character called Spooky Kitty saying there's only 19 people in here. Can someone reading this tell Stacey I love him? So there you go.
That sounds creepy.
Stacey.
Spooky Kitty. Is that a girl? Is that a female?
There's no picture.
There's no picture?
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
So I worry about that.
America, listen. If you're a female and you're sending you're sending those kind of things, look, I look like a little snuggle bear. Look at my little blue snuggle. I look like the little snuggle bear that the little fabric softener guy. Look at a little snuggle. Look at this. This is cute. Look at this. It's hot as hell in here, America. I look cool, but it's hot as hell in here. I just want to let y'all know I'm over here sweating like a slave in the hen house right now. I'm burning up in here, America. I'm burning up in here.
And Spooky Kitty just confessed I'm a guy.
Oh, Spooky Kitty. Spooky Kitty, no.
We got Halloween coming up, so they're all coming out of the woodwork.
No,
hey,
Spooky.
Before we get out of here, we're going to have a segment on shows we're watching, and Stacey was going to have this last week, so I don't think we have the graphic ready, but a show that's on Netflix called Watchers, which is really creepy.
That's Spooky Kitty.
Tim, tell the story that it was straight out of, there it is, The Watcher. It really is unbelievable. It's got an all-star cast. I mean, the guy in the dumbwaiter, the first episode, it's like, oh, my God.
America. I was told about this show. I was like, you ever seen The Watcher? You seen The Watcher? I'm like, no, I haven't seen The Watcher. You got to watch The Watcher. You got to watch The Watcher. I say, if it was anything like Jeffrey Dahmer, I ain't watching it. So I started watching it, and I was just like, oh, my goodness, this is creepy. Like, I'm literally hearing noises in my house. Like, I'm walking around with a bat. The dogs are with me. The other day, it's funny story. I think my house is haunted, seriously, because it's like 1930-something house. A lot of the older houses over where I live. So I'm sitting down. Periodically, America, I hear noises. Like I hear, like stuff like that, okay? So I never get fazed by it. I'm like, okay, it's a noise in the house. No big deal. So the other day, swear to God, I hear this, like someone jump with feet. Like, it was like, boom. And the first time, my dogs never startled, never. They was like, and I'm like, oh, because a dog can see things that we can't see. Yeah. Okay, so they was like, both of them started, walking towards the staircase. And I'm like, okay, is this a paranormal activity? Like, is like somebody gonna come here and throw me up against the wall? And so the dogs literally went upstairs to go see what it was. And then they didn't come back down for a little bit, so I thought maybe something happened to them. But I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a dog go, hey!
Yeah.
Because if I'd heard that, I'd been gone. But then they came back downstairs. But I think we had some paranormal activity up in my house. Yeah, it was a little creepy.
If you've watched that show,
The Watcher,
the story Tim's got, you want to share this, Tim, or not, about your new place in Fort Myers?
Yeah, sure, because I don't think he's a listener of the show.
Well, you never know. You never know.
That would be creepy. But my first full day here, go to bed, and about 3 a.m, here's some fighting going on next door, a little domestic disturbance. And then,
hey, meet the neighbors.
Calm down. I figured, well, I go relieve myself, and then my wife goes, I hear this loud slamming sound. She goes, holy shit, there's someone at the back door. Come here. And there's this guy standing there slamming his fist and hand against the glass. He's like, let me in. You got my drill. I was like, your drill? What do you mean your drill? I don't have your fucking drill. Get the hell out of here. I'm like, what's this guy here for? He's like, no, bro, my girl. I'm like, your girl? There's no girl. He was like, yeah, redhead named Pat. Now let me turn on the light so I can look around.
It's
like,
the Watcher, I'm telling you.
Get that out of here.
Is this real?
We called the cops. Called the cops. He took off, then yelled, I'll be back. And I'm like, holy
It's like those
shit.
2-0 cops in the Watcher,
Tim, for real?
Get out! You got to get out of there.
The back door.
So is that
so
I knew that's why you got that little thing, that little shocker thing.
That's not
That's
little.
We got it the next day.
Yeah. How many bolts is that? He can wake up Frankenstein with that damn thing. How many?
180,000.
So let me get this right. Let me get this
leather jacket.
Let me get this right. Let me get this right, Tim. So it's like 3 a.m, and someone is banging at your back door talking about where's his girlfriend, where's his girl at?
Yeah, I'd say we're keeping her.
Wow.
And, let me come in and turn your lights on. Like, hell no.
Oh,
I'm starting to look around like I got a hammer over there. I got.
You didn't have no weapons.
He said he called the police. They were there in 2 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They were here fast, like super fast.
Must have been the neighborhood.
Flashlights and
must have been the neighborhood. If it would have been in the inner city, we'd have probably 2 weeks later they'd have came.
It's another episode of
think it was
The
parked on the
Watcher.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, this is Mr. and Mrs. Jackson. We have somebody here that's trying to break in our house. We'll be there in 2 weeks. But then Tim Kelley, hey, how you doing? I'm Tim Kelley. I have somebody breaking into my house. We're right there. We're there now. Don't worry about it.
We're in the garage. Yeah. What are you watching, Mark?
I tell you what, I'm not watching anything after hearing that story. Oh my God. I mean, this is real life. You just move into a place that you thought was blown away in a hurricane, and then you got some crazy neighbor who's ready to kill you because you stole his girl.
And he's coming back.
Yeah, that's real life shit right there.
Yes.
That beats any television show.
Scarier.
Yeah, that beats any television show.
Yeah.
That beats The Watcher because you live in the real Watcher. That's like the guy like in The Watcher, like the dude's like he's got access to the house. No one knows how he gets in there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they hear these noises and he's in the dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
And so they pull him out the door. What are you doing here? The guy's like ready to beat him with a bat. It's like, get out of here. Oh man, that show is creepy.
Yeah.
Another show, America. I'm telling you, I just got on watching the last episode of House of Dragons. I keep trying to tell y'all to go see it. The last episode was amazing. A lot of people were mad how the last episode ended. And one thing that House of Dragons has done, that Game of Thrones have done, they're not afraid to kill off star people. Okay, They're not afraid to do it. They're going to keep doing it, okay? The dragon scene, if you haven't seen it in America, spoiler alert, turn off the show right now because I'm going to tell you. Okay, the dragon scene at the end was amazing. Okay, first of all, I did not know that my man, what's his name? Agar, not Agar, but the brother with the patch on his eye. Aemon? Aemon's dragon was that damn big. Like that, this dude's dragon, Mark, was like a 747. So, and then the one kid, what's the kid that he came to, they delivered the dark hair kid, Luke. So Luke. He got a baby dragon. The dragon's about as big as a sheep. And he's flying on the dragon. I'm like, damn, that's a cute little dragon, Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see Aegon's dragon, it's like 747. So I'm like, okay, this is not fair. So then the little baby dragon was, they were chasing him, and the little baby dragon shot the big dragon with some fire, which pissed the big dragon off. So he got away. So he thought he got away. He was in the sun, it was raining, and then he got to the sunlight, he thought he was gonna make it. Then all of a sudden, and here comes the big dragon and bit him, just chewed him up, ate him up, one bite. It was like a chicken McNugget. Just ate him up. It was, oh, Lord have mercy. If I spoiled it for
Everything
you.
tastes like chicken. We get
Yeah,
back to
exactly.
that. Yeah.
If I spoiled it for you, America, I'm sorry. I just should. Oh, one more thing. Did we have the picture of the 7'6" guy? America.
before we
I
get
was,
out
I
of
was
here.
at the game last night, okay? And I wanted you to look at this picture, these pictures that we have. We ran into the world's tallest teenager. That's right, America. I'm not stuttering.
7'6".
I'm not stuttering. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's the world's tallest teenager. Okay, this kid is 7'6". He's from Canada. Olivier Roux. I think that's his name. If I'm butchered it, I'm sorry. But this kid, do we have Chuck Swirsky's picture up there? Okay, so I'm 16. Look, look, Chuck looked like a little ventriloquist. He could put him on his knee and have Chuck talk.
He said, "Hey, Chuck, dance for me."
Look at the size difference. I mean, his head, the kid's head is about the size of Chuck's body. Look at that. I mean, but I'm going to tell you something. I didn't know what 7'6" looked like. I mean, I seen Manute Bol and all that. But Manute Bol didn't, when I was a player, didn't look that tall to me. But this kid was sitting in a chair. And I wasn't even paying attention. I'm talking to somebody, and he was almost taller than me sitting in the chair. And I thought that maybe he was like a small person, like he was sitting on his, standing on his feet. So, Mark, I'm looking, and I'm like, and he just stood up, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, and he's 16 years old, America. He's going to IMG Academy to play basketball. He's going to probably be in the NBA in 2 years. I mean, this kid is supposed to be a phenomenal player. He's got to work on some things to get better. Look how big his hands are.
Yeah.
Now, America, I got some big hands, okay? But this dude's hands, they were huge. Like, he put his hands on my shoulder, and I was like, all right, man, you got to get off me. Because I like, he kind of scared me. It was kind of like Lurch from the attitude. Like, boom. And he hit me on the shoulder. I got a bad shoulder. I've been lifting, America. I've been throwing up some heavy weights, and I got a little sore shoulder. And he got me in the sore shoulder, and he squeezed it. It's like, he goes, "Oh, nice meeting you." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Hey, baby, hurt." I almost gave him a 2-piece because I was going to lunge up there and give him a throat punch, but I realized he was only 16 years old. He was a kid. He didn't know any better.
Did he really sound like that? Does every 7'6" guy sound like Lurch? You rang.
No, because I think he's French. He's a dual citizen, so he can speak English and Bill.
So you spoke French to him?
Yeah, parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. Je t'aime très beaucoup. Yes. Okay. Yeah. America. I'm bilingual. And wait a minute, America. One more thing. I'm just been voted again. Okay. I've just been voted one of the sexiest Frenchmen in Paris. Okay. So I will be doing a photo shoot with Versace in Paris, and I'll make sure you guys see that.
Can't wait to see that.
That's right.
That's going to be something.
Yes.
We know Mike has the night off, but Windy City is always in business. Tell the folks how they can get their transportation needs taken care of.
Mark, you shouldn't have asked me. Windy City provides championship service. They didn't do it tonight because I didn't use them. Making a reservation is so easy, it's a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure of traffic and get you to your destination in style and on time. Contact us at 847-916-9300. You probably won't get a hold of Mike Amaral because he's out with the Double Mint twins right now. And he's out having dinner at Capitol Grill. And he played golf this weekend in Geneva.
Weather was great.
Listen, Mike deserved the week off. Normally Mike drives me on Thursday. And this was a short notice type of thing because we won't be doing the show on Thursday because I'll be traveling. And I hate doing the show from the hotels because you never know what kind of reception you're going to get. But it worked out well last week. The guys did a great job behind the scenes. The Sriracha studio guys did a great job making sure the sound was proper and everything. But I had to come in today because I like coming into the studio, even though it was a bitch of a drive trying to drive in the rain because I never get Chicago traffic, okay? Number one, Chicago people act like it's acid rain. Like, they just go 5 miles an hour. If we go too fast, our car's going to catch on fire. Whereas if you watch Chicago people during the wintertime, America, drive in Chicago in the wintertime. It's black ice out there. They're going 100 miles an hour. But it's raining. They're like, okay, we just got to go slow because if we go too fast, our car's going to disintegrate from the acid rain. Help me, I'm melting. That's what it seems like. And it's so frustrating because it's like, get the hell out the way. If you're not going to, there's driver etiquette, Mark, okay? If you're going to be in the fast lane, stay in the fast lane and go fast. If you're going to drive like Miss Daisy, get your ass out the lane and go over and sit in the far lane. I hate that. People are just going, they're talking. Oh, look at the nice birds flying and singing songs, kumbaya in the car with the kids. Get out the way. Get out the fast lane, please. Have some driver etiquette, okay? I don't like to go road rage, Mark. I try not to.
That's why Stacey King always takes
That's why I take Windy City.
Whenever possible.
I let
He's
Mike
their
have to
number
deal
one
with
customer.
that. I let Mike deal with all that traffic. Mike, I love you, boy. We'll see you next week, baby.
Hey, Whispers, thanks a lot for hanging in there for the whole show. I know you're trying to get your house set up in Fort Myers. Tell your lovely wife we apologize for keeping you up so late. It's almost 11 o'clock there.
Yes,
so.
yes. Tell Maureen we appreciate her being on the show. We saw her trying to sneak over off the camera, but I caught her. She looked like I Dream of Jeannie. And just tell her, hey, just do this, Tim. That's all she need to do. Blink and get her ass back in the bottle, okay?
And don't take that zapper into the bedroom with you, all right?
Hey, no freaky stuff. No zapper. Hey, bring that zapper. Bring that zapper back, Tim. We're gonna get Rich. We're gonna get the cooler. We're gonna zap him. See if it works. How many volts can he take?
Let's find out.
Let's do it.
That's a tease for a future show if I've ever heard one. Hey, thank you so much for watching and listening. Episode 104. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Kenny McReynolds. He is an amazing man. It was great visiting with him. We want to thank the Sriracha crew for their hard work as we're doing this on a different day than we normally do. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back with a brand new episode next week. Whispers, so long, my friend.
So long, Walken.
See you guys.
Christopher Walken.
I'll see you.
Oh, yeah! Drive on Chicago! Beep, beep!